Richard Yama, and then the incoming is Professor Bernard Umibuhati.
Okay, thank you. As president, you are legally bound by financial limits.
Yes, please.
So, according to the recent approved amendment of the ACES Constitution, what is the exact maximum percentage of the association total the committee is allowed to spend in academic year? You understand?
80%.
So, if an ACES student gets serious and it's support disciplinarity, they might run to you for help. So, according to the SRC, is constitutionally mandated to represent the center on that.
Is the question again?
If an ACES student gets into serious trouble and it's university disciplinary committee, they might run to you for help. I hope you know that. According to the SRC Constitution, which specific student leader is constitutionally mandated to represent the student by that committee?
You have a question
Okay.
between CWA and GA.
Yes, please.
I stated.
So yes, the first difference is that CWA stands for cumulative weighted average. Then the GPA stands for weighted the weighted average. The GPA is your weighted average.
Okay.
And then the CWA is the cumulated weighted average.
That's wrong. So the GPA is a numerical grade point. They use a scale. A is equal to 0 and B is equal to 3.0. Multiplied by the credit hours. Whereas the CWA is a weighted average based on percentage marks multiplied by the credit hours. And what the name of the
Curriculum vitae.
of another?
Mr. Clifford, again, what motivated you to run for this position? And again, if not selected or voted in after this?
So I want to create what I want to do is opportunities to be remembered as a president who supported or who strengthened academic support and also promoted skill development I also want to leave systems and programs behind where subsequent administrations will follow. I want to create an environment where every member of the association will have an opportunity to develop his or her skill or identify his or her potential. Those are the things that have motivated me. And kindly repeat the next question.
If not vetted or voted in as the next ACES president, what would be the next step afterward?
So leadership doesn't end there. I think there are other ways I can serve, not only as the president, but there are other ways I can serve.
I have a case study question for you before our GC proceeds. If you are given the floor as the next ACES president and there's been an emergency general meeting on this sensitive case, listen attentively, Mr. Clifford. If a student approaches your office to report on a sensitive case of harassment, discrimination, or victimization of a peer or faculty member, which could be a lecturer or the HOD himself, what is your precise on that?
So I'm going to investigate the matter. Yes, that the case is true. I'm going to hand over to that committee related by the Constitution.
What's the property?
That's the judicial committee.
Can you give me a key difference between steganography and cryptography?
Pass.
I have studied this system, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Stages or just explain.
Plain operating system. Everything.
It refers to the stages that to turn on.
Can you list some of the stages? Pathway is the first one.
Pass.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If your executive committee or a student is unhappy with a ruling from the judicial committee, you have the right to appeal according to Article. So who serves as the chairman of the appellate body?
The HOD serves as the chairman of the appellate.
Thank you, panel members, for helping us with the general knowledge. We proceed to the next section, which is Constitution. So we'll begin with the Constitution. Audience.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We will start with the ACES Constitution. According to the ACES Constitution, can you state the motto
So the motto of the ACES is discovering the world of technology.
and the slogan?
The slogan is we are the future of
ACES.
the future of technology.
Okay. So, according to Article 16, Clause A, Subclause 10, the ACES Constitution, the power to the President to appoint a judicial chairperson. What criteria will you use to select a suitable candidate?
So the selection of the judicial chairman must be an individual who understands the constitution and then is competent.
Okay. How do you say he's competent?
So per the constitutional requirements, the, the nominated person is going to be vetted by the outgoing Senate.
What if the outgoing Senate rejects your nominee?
So if the Senate rejects the nominee, I would have to look for other nominee because I can't um, do otherwise. If the Senate refuses,
Okay. Article 35 allows impeachment proceedings against an elected officer with a petition authenticated by at least 50 members from each class. I get to my question.
yes, please.
So, as a president, if you are the subject of impeachment proceedings, what constitutional protection do you have? Right. Article 23, Clause A, Subclause 8 establishes an investment account for emergency purposes. What is the procedure for accessing these funds?
So if there is an emergency, and then the withdrawal from this investment fund shall not be more than 60%.
I asked of the procedure for accessing the funds.
One, if there is any emergency, that's what.
We pass the question. What is the rightful thing to do when you are traveling outside the campus?
So I'd have to have to write to the judicial chairman inform the vice president.
And what is the purpose of this?
So the purpose is to ensure good governance.
Or
Experience
no?
contact.
Continuity of leadership. Article 19 requires the government to conduct assessments and evaluations on ongoing projects accepted by the Senate from the previous administration. As a president, how will you ensure fair and objective evaluation of your predecessors' projects? Who administers the presidential oath?
The judicial committee.
That's wrong. The oath is administered by the incoming judicial chairman during handing over ceremony. So after swearing into the office, what are the consequences of breaking this oath? Let's go to the SRC constitution. So the SRC constitution article is the supremacy law for governance of all clubs and associations. This constitution article 6.1, which also claims supremacy to the SRC constitution.
So this means the ACES constitution is set to the SRC. Everything is set to the SRC.
What does it?
So means if there is it is the SRC constitution bills.
The constitution is a supremacy. So it is consent. Yes. Who appoint the speaker?
SRC.
So the SRC constitution, the general secretary, and the clerk.
So they have similar responsibilities, but different under executive and the clerk financial legislative assembly.
Okay. According to the SRC Constitution, Article 11, Clause 2, is a women's. How will you coordinate with the SRC Women's Commissioner whenever you
So I'm going to make sure each policy or initiative tailored towards the female students will be in accordance with um, the SRC Women's Commission. That is, we should have women.
in your submission you said the president is chief executive committee or
Yes, miss.
an executive committee of ACES comprises it includes the women's commissioner.
Yes, miss.
So when there's with the coordination, you must ensure that the ACES women's commissioner works the SRC commissioner. The ACES WUCOM is also part of the SRC WUCOM, the women's commission. I guess in it. So now, the SRC Constitution, Article 12, Clause 3, establishes an audit committee appointed by the LA. And ACES Constitution, Article 23, Clause E, establishes an audit board appointed by a judicial committee. How do these two bodies relate?
The audit committee of the ACES audits the budget of the association, and then the audit committee of the SRC also audits the budget of the SRC.
That's correct. Let's move to the Cash Collection Act. I hope you read it. The Cash Collection Act, 03, Section 1 states it is prohibited to collect cash from in the name of SRC or GCR. How would you ensure ACES complies with this prohibition during registration week?
So during the ACES registration, the association through the financial secretary must publish account details for the collection of the account. So these are not going to be paid by direct cash, but they are going to be paid formally through the account details published by the financial secretary. Then they are also going to, the students must take receipts, bank receipts, and also present it to the financial secretary during the registration.
So during ACES events, and a corporate sponsor insists on giving you a cash donation, how would you handle this without violating Cash Collection Act 003?
For accountability sake, the funds must be deposited into the official account of the association for accountability and auditing.
Okay. So the Cash Collection Act 003 Section 4 Also requires the treasurer to submit a report attached by a financial statement from all banks once in a semester. As a president, how would you ensure compliance with this?
So, for example, during the registration week, the financial secretary of the association was to present bank statements, also receipts.
That's all. So the section 6 of the Cash Collection Act 003 outlines consequences for a breach. What specific risk do you face as a president if an executive under your supervision violates this act?
To immediate dismissal or removal from.
No investigation.
So you said the specific impeachment. So investigations are going to be carried if the evidence show that the victim or the case is true. The the sanctions says that immediate removal, immediate dismissal.
Okay. Let's go to the conduct of undergraduate and graduate programs. You read that document. Out of the Chicago campus SRC establishment. So a Chicago campus SRC establishment Act Section 5 outlines the composition of the Chicago campus SRC parliament. How might ACES interact with this parliament?
One, through the judicial council. So the the judicial council consists of representatives from the registered course associations. So the chairpersons of the judicial committee of the department or association represent in the judicial council of the SRC, and also the president serves as the representative of the association at the legislative assembly.
My question was specific parliament.
To parliament, the president serves as a representative.
The Chicago campus SRC establishment Act Section 12 establishes an electoral commission. How does this relate to the electoral commission?
Essence of the ACES or are going to present main EC of the SRC
All the East.
or the EC chairperson.
Take it like that. Let's go to the standing orders. The speaker. As ACES president, how do you interact with the speaker during the sitting? Okay, so you interact with the speaker by addressing the speaker as the Right Honorable or Mr. Speaker under section 7.16. And you must respect speaker's authority to maintain order and decorum under section 1. And also follow the speaker's rulings on points of order. Excellent. So standing order section 7.4 outlines budget debate rules. Budget debate rule. So as ACES president, how do you ensure ACES budget align with these requirements?
So the ACES president has to present the semester budget, which contains the budget for all the activities the
And the
legislative assembly. The president has to present the budget at the legislative assembly.
submitted to the South president copies copying the speaker in the judicial chamber. This is a dress code for early meeting.
To suit, that's official wear or traditional.
You read the Ghana Disability Act.
Yes.
So according to the Disability Act, Section 6, because the owner of a place with asset to provide appropriate facilities for persons with disability. Remember that?
Yes.
So how would you ensure ACES events are accessible to persons with disability?
So in the organization of events, I have to make sure that the venue for the event, that's if the event is the venue has to be accessible to all people with disabilities.
If you say accessible, in what sense?
They, they should be able to use the facility. For example, if maybe we are having an event here and someone um let me give an example. If maybe someone is in a wheelchair, that we having the organization here must not prevent the person from partaking in any activity. So the person must, I won't say the person must find his way here, but there should be protocols that will allow the person in the activity.
So what the act does is that if you are come to have the event during the act, you shouldn't have it here on a high ground. So you do it on a lower floor and also with a few pad where they can roll on it to access a place. That's what the act says.
You read the Public Procurement Act. As a president, you have to know. What prevented you from reading?
Let's busy with that.
Busy.
Won't see how to. I planned on learning that one. Exactly.
Okay. According to the student guide, do you know ponding?
Yeah.
Ponding. So ponding is physical act intended to harass or bully or tease someone. So example can be pouring water on someone trying to tease the person. So as a president, what is your responsibility as regarding this? Because the student guide bans any form of ponding.
So, won't you investigate matter? That person. With the help of the judicial committee,
The help.
through the judicial,
What is the proper way of doing that?
to I'll present the case to judicial committee for a hearing.
Okay. Now,
Then the judicial committee will make declaration and send binding orders or make binding orders.
okay. The student guide also prohibits students from smoking in places and it also prohibits students taking alcohol simple. As ACES president, how are you going to enforce these regulations among the members?
So since it is against the conduct of students, anyone found guilty would face the appropriate sanction.
Come again.
Since it is against the conduct of this, anyone found guilty would face the appropriate sanction.
Why don't you first educate them on that? We
So
haven't.
even after education, if you are still found guilty, you're going to face the appropriate.
So as a president that you are serving the interest of the association, I think your first submission was to is to
Educate.
educate them first. Playing flyers or working with the communication officer to display Prohibition Act 1998.
Yes,
Did you read the human statute as you pass?
read some.
So my last question be on the proceedings of assessment. So the proceedings, any amendment that is to be done, have to send copy. Have to talk to the judicial chairperson. The judicial chairperson shall deliberate on it with the committee, and if it is valid or valuable enough, represent it to the Senate for approval. After the Senate approving the amendment, we have to do a referendum. And first of all, allow the student to see or send a communique to the student aware of the amendment 7 days prior to. And a general meeting is held. Get the referendum 2/3 of the students. So the current amendment that is ongoing, have you seen or have you read what that entails?
Yes, please.
Where did you see it?
General meeting.
Regional meeting. I
I
asked, where did you see it?
where did I see it? I just heard of it
Who?
from some of the executives.
Executives.
Something like-
Yes.
But I know the amendment.
So can you see the amendment
Yes, please.
of the statement?
So the first one is to change the name.
that your transparency will really work. What says the time?
E37.
Let me see. Okay. Please, I don't want to hear any comments from the audience.
Thank you.
Exactly, for that was very intense, right?
Yes, please.
And this is our JC for you. He knows what he's saying. My question is only one. Do you know that in Article 23, the association should invest in an investment account?
Yes, please.
What percentage of the total revenue should be invested?
5%.
And have you thought of any investment accounts to which you would want to invest in? Please do that. And also adding up to what he was saying or his questioning, we learn from experiences. So if you didn't attend meetings, try and engage your people if you are voted for to be attending meetings. So the mistakes you did, don't let it repeat to other people. So
Yes, please.
I have a last question. Point C3.
Yes, please.
I'm hearing some accusations from your class. Have you heard it? Is the current administration? But I heard one of your circle saying this administration have been
I've not.
have not heard. I will say no who you first.
Thank you.
Circle. Tell that person to be ready. Hearing.
Thank you, Mr. JC, His Lordship, the panel members, order in the house, please. If we continue. Mr. Clifford,
Chairman.
would move on to the CV because you provided the CV yourself. So we'll ask you questions pertaining the CV you provided and IT related questions stated in national skills.
Mr. Clifford, please,
Chairman.
on your CV, under your experiences, we have Pentatech IT Solutions. Please, what did you do there?
To my first internship at Pentatech, helped build one software application called Mattress Home. That was from September to November 2024.
You helped build it.
Yes, please. I collaborated with engineers at the office.
Was it a web-based program?
Yes, please.
So which part of it did you work on?
The front end.
Front end.
Yeah.
So that's the UI or the UI, right?
No, UI is different from
Okay. So how is that different?
So UI deals with designing the pages, and then front end deals with coding the design.
Can you give me the full meaning of UI?
UI, user interaction, and then UX is user experience.
So UI is user UI is user interface.
Yes, sorry, user interface.
So please educate yourself. UI is user interface, and you said front end is what?
Front end is implementing the design the UI or UX designer makes through coding.
Okay, so you let's if it's okay, let's end it today. You used which programming language for your UI?
So I use React,
React. Okay.
JavaScript.
Do you know the types of UI available? You don't know the other forms of UI.
So I'm not a UI UX designer, but yeah,
I'm not talking about design, but do you know the types of UI, user interfaces? No.
no.
Okay. Very much. We have Python here. We have JavaScript. Do you also work on HTML or you just know JavaScript?
So HTML is just the basics, but I work more often with JavaScript, the framework React.
Okay, that's solid. So let's move to Python.
Okay.
Do you know OOP?
Yes, please.
Please, what is OOP?
Object-oriented programming.
Do you know the pillars of OOP?
Yes, please.
Can you state them and explain?
So we have 4 pillars. 1, encapsulation. 2, inheritance. 3, abstraction. Then 4, polymorphism. So encapsulation deals with hiding the implementation from the actual meaning of the code base. So it's like you are hiding the like what the actual thing means. You are hiding it from the user.
So you said hiding, right? You are correct on that, but trying to hide the implementation. That's for abstraction.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes, please.
Hiding. So come again with the encapsulation. You are hiding something, but not the entire dish. Come again with it.
Very good.
Okay.
Um, you stated the 4. You no problem. Because of time, you do this. You also work on MongoDB and MySQL.
Yes, please.
So these are databases, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. So do you know what normalization in databases?
Yeah, but I've forgotten the
Okay. So just give us a brief explanation on it. Just brief. We will skip that. Do you know what a relational database is?
Yes, please.
Please, can you define it for us?
So in relational databases, we have relationship between entities, or more entities in the database.
In relational database.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No. What are queries in databases?
Queries are commands or questions used to request for information or data from the database.
That's good. That'll be all.
Okay, thank you very much. So I want to ask you critical questions. You understand? As
Yes.
president, you should be able to think critically. So assume as a computer science graduate, you've been employed to design a car system where you have to program the time it takes the car to move from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds, taking the mass of the car into consideration. what physics law of motion would you employ and state the law?
Is it the question again?
Assume as a computer science graduate, you've been employed to design a car system where you have to program the time it takes the car to move from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5 seconds, taking the mass of the car into consideration. Which physics law of motion would you employ and state the law?
So Newton's first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion. It says a body will continue to be in its state of motion or at rest until an external force is applied. So in this case, if we want the car to move from 0 to 60 seconds, knowing the mass, there should be a form of acceleration for the car to move, or there should be force applied for the car to move.
So please can you write the formula for it? Right? Are you sure this formula applies to the first law of motion? Are you sure? If you are wrong, this formula is for Newton's second law of motion. The change in momentum is directly proportional to the force applied. We are saying that what acceleration is a change in what speed. You have an initial speed and also what a final speed. You understand?
Yes, please.
So it will be F is equal to ma because whatever you are doing is dependent on what the mass of the body. So F is equal to ma. But acceleration, you have to take into account the initial and also the final.
Okay.
So it will be F is equal to m bracket open v minus what 0. Okay. V minus u, where v stands for final and u stands for what? Initial. You understand? Then you proceed from that. Do you get me?
Yes,
because they are trying to move from 0 miles per hour towards 60 miles per hour in a time of 5 seconds. So if you have to find the actual acceleration, you take into account the derivative. Do you understand?
Yes, please.
So it becomes using dot product rule. It becomes A is equal to m. F is equal to m. Please write it. Right? F is equal to m dv over dt minus m du over dt. You understand? This is the formula. But because what you started from 0, it means what the whole of m du dt goes to 0. So you are dealing with what m dv dt. Do you get it? Yes. So it's Newton's second law of motion. Okay. A change in momentum is directly proportional to the force applied.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you know computer networks.
Not
So you will skip on that.
okay.
But you've done operating.
Yes, please.
Okay, you said on your CV, you said what you're a software developer. You know that if you are developing a software for, let's say, them deal with the operating system and also operating system. So my process in operating system. Process system. Then let me simplify it. You see, you have when you open your laptop, the desktop, you have so many applications on it, the softwares. That software on it is what a program. Do you understand? So I'm asking what a process is. Or you have no idea of that.
I have, but don't really know how to explain it. I'm
So
trying to recall the definition, but
I don't need definition. You
okay.
can just, however you understand it, you can just tell me.
So a process is like anything that initiates something like that.
That's
Something
it.
that-
So pertaining to a program, what is what the execution of that program.
yeah,
So whenever you execute a program, you see you have so many processes running in the background. Your computer, you asked of listen, what's listen, type of what? You asked of
yes,
the
yes,
type of UI,
yes,
right? Yes, we have what the client side and also what
yeah,
the this
the command line,
the command line. Do you
yeah.
get it? Also, we have a kernel side and also a client side. Do you get it? The kernel side comprises of so many processes running at the background for your program to work like the way you see it. Do you get it?
Yes.
So that's what I want to know, because if you know how to develop softwares for different platforms, you should understand the fundamentals. Do you get it?
Yes, please.
Yes, that's what
Okay, thank
I
you.
need. Okay.
I have a question for you. Clifford,
That's the one.
please do you know algorithm?
Yes, please.
What is an algorithm?
An algorithm is the step-by-step instructions that performs a specific function. They are the step-by-step instructions that performs a specific function.
Okay, so now I want to perform a specific function. I want to cook rice. Can you give me the algorithm of cooking rice?
First, ingredients ready. That's rice. It depends on the type of rice you want to prepare. So, for example, normal plain rice. The ingredients is water, rice, salt, maybe oil. Then the utensils, maybe your cooking pot. Yes. So you first put the pot on the fire. You boil water for some time. Put the rice inside, and then you wait until it cooks.
Until I use a cooker.
No, please.
So how would you know the rice has cooked?
So it depends on the hardness. People have um their choice of determining whether um the food is fully ready or not.
So let's take the instance that I can't tell whether it's cooked or not. So what can you implement in your this algorithm? Let me know when I should know that the rice has cooked.
So one since algorithm is a step by step, one step you can include is to check if um if the right is edible and stopped.
From what you are saying, it means the right will be on fire till
No, so
there's no
once
stopping, there's
so
no
no
termination.
so so
So as part of the vetting process, getting to the end, we want you to sign this form.
okay.
Please hurry a bit for us. There's a last question. Yeah. So the critical thinking and problem solving. Just sign a document that is not in your name. In the document, you didn't even read whether you are going to kill yourself. This is a legal document, and as a president of the association, you will just sign letters. That if you are transferring all the money, the funds in the association's account to someone.
So so yeah, so it was an order from above. So I had to,
You mentioned accountability, right?
yes, please.
What's accountability again?
So being responsible for every action you take.
For every action.
Yes,
So
please.
once you sign, it means everything in this document you must be accountable for it.
Yes,
And if I take this document, I wasn't there when the order was given to you. I'll just use this document against you. So, we're going to put the association in demise. Signing any documents. I read. You didn't even come through or scan it. Didn't even this is for communications officer. You have signed. Now the last thing, said you are proficient in by a simple code to swap to numbers. Code, please write it.
It means more.
It's okay. Time is up.
That A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 0, A is equal to 0, B is... So why would you declare the variables if you are going to do it this way? You declare the variables to use them. In this case, you've not really used them. You get it? So if you had to swap this two numbers, you're saying what? A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2. Then you the next distance step, you would say what? A is equal to B, B is equal to what? A.
Yeah,
Do you understand? So what
that's
you've
what
done, you've not actually
yeah,
implemented it. You
yeah,
are
yeah.
just assigning numbers
So
to
I
it.
was doing it on the board before,
It
like,
doesn't matter. Do you get it?
yes, please.
The next step, the A is equal to 0, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 1. You should clear that part. It should be A is equal to B,
B,
then B is equal to what? A. Then when you print it out, you didn't even print it out. You're able to print, swap two numbers, but the result, they won't even print. Why? Do you get it? Do you get me?
yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford. Eduakodonko.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Clifford, can you tell us your strength and your weakness? Sorry. Please, what would be the legacy at the end of your office if you are being voted for, Mr. Clifford?
So the legacy I want to leave is an ACES that creates opportunities. So I want to be remembered as a president that strengthened academic support, promoted skill development. Above all, I also want to create systems and programs that subsequent um, administration or executives will follow. I want to create an association or an environment where everyone has the opportunity to grow and learn.
Mr. Afana, say to the panel, to the audience who came to support.
So our department has a lot to offer. I believe that we can do more as a department, academic, professionally, in all aspects. And that is why I'm vying for the position. If I am good, I'm going to make sure that ACES will be an environment where um, or a platform for academic excellence, number one, two, for skill development, and also where you can develop yourself professionally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Clifford. Thank you, Mr. Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. You would hear from us officially as the vetting team. You may now excuse us, Mr. Clifford, and have a nice evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This brings us to the end of the vetting process, and we may take our leave. Before we do that, let's stand up and share the grace. Please, the grace.
the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. What? Amen. Amen. Thank you all very much.